Good morning, all. Jasper Gunza here, another What's Next. Remember the other day I said, about not doing another Biden Afghanistan cluster F of a video? Yeah, about that. Check this out. This comes out of the blaze. Biden indicates there was no way to exit Afghanistan without chaos ensuing. There he is, Dementia Boy. President Joe Dementia has come under heavy scrutiny, that's an understatement there, for presiding over a chaotic effort to pull out of Afghanistan. But during an ABC News interview, the president indicated he did not believe there was an avenue for America to withdraw without chaos ensuing, his words. Oh, Biden. The idea of somehow there was a way to have gotten out without a chaos ensuing, I don't know how that happens. It's called planning, Joe. It's called planning. So, for you, that was always a price into the decision. Interviewer George Stephanopolis said, yes, the president said. Now, exactly what happened, I have not priced in. Biden said, according to ABC News, but I knew they were going to have an enormous look. One of the things we didn't know what the Taliban would do in terms of trying to keep people from getting out, what they would do, what they are doing now. They're cooperating, letting American citizens out, American personnel getting out, embassies getting out, etc. But we're having more difficulty in having those who helped us when we were there. Those are his words. I hope you understood, because I'm having difficulty. The Taliban has swiftly taken over Afghanistan, and the U.S. is currently scrambling to evacuate American citizens and others. Joint Chiefs Staff Chairman General I need to be woke because of white rage, Mark Miley, said during a press briefing Wednesday that the speed of the collapse of the Afghan army and government had not been anticipated. There was nothing that I or anyone else saw that indicated the collapse of this army and the government in 11 days. Yeah, just a bunch of ragtags and AK-47s who were hanging around a campfire one day and said, hey, why don't we take over the Capitol? What do you think, everyone? Sure, let's do it. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said Tuesday that, quote, a fair amount of U.S. defense materials supplied to Afghanistan have fallen into the Taliban's hands. Republicans have been heavily critical of the Biden administration, saying that the U.S. withdrawal has been badly bungled. Cluster F is a better word. Republican Senator John Kennedy of Louisiana said in a video statement on Tuesday that Biden ought to hide his head in a bag, or hiding underneath the desk, or hiding in the basement of Camp David, which is probably well suited for him. Nikki Haley, a former U.S. ambassador to the UN who served under a portion of the Trump administration, declared during a Tuesday interview on Fox that Biden had failed miserably and humiliated America. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris' response to the lack of planning in Afghanistan had been catastrophic. Ted Cruz, after the immediate crisis is over, they've gotten all the Americans out of Afghanistan. We should get answers for the American people. Good luck, Ted. Good luck on having these committee meetings, because that's what these committee hearings, because that's exactly what's going to end up happening. And of course, dog and pony show, and nothing will happen. In relation to this story, out of Breitbart, stubborn Joe Dementia snaps, falls apart in interview as Afghan crisis worsens. President Joe Dementia continued to struggle with his response into the crisis in Afghanistan after days of hunkering down and seemingly waiting for the storm to blow over. Yes, if I hear nothing, see nothing, say nothing, it'll go away. Out of sight, out of mind. Biden's been out of mind for a very long time. So you're reaching for a lot there. Faced with an outcry from the press over the president's unwillingness to answer questions about the chaotic conclusion of the 20-year war in Afghanistan, 30 years, go back to Reagan, Biden did an interview with ABC News host George Stephanopolis at the White House to defend his actions. The interview was the first time Biden took questions about the crisis in Afghanistan in 8 days and did not appear prepared. shock. Let's take a listen.
Back in July, you said a Taliban takeover was highly unlikely. Was the intelligence wrong, or did you downplay it?
I think there was no consensus. If you go back and look at the intelligence reports, they said that it was more likely to be sometime by the end of the year.
You didn't put a timeline out when you said it was highly unlikely. You just said flat out it's highly unlikely the Taliban would take over.
Yeah. Well, the question was whether or not the idea that the Taliban would take over was premised on the notion that somehow the 300,000 troops we had trained and equipped was going to just collapse. They were going to give up. I don't think anybody anticipated that.
We've all seen the pictures. We've seen those hundreds of people packed into a C-17. We've seen Afghans falling.
That was 4 days ago, 5 days ago.
What did you think when you first saw those pictures?
What I thought was we have to gain control.
Am I watching TV?
We have to move this more quickly. We have to move in a way in which we can take control of that airport.
Joe, where's my sippy cup?
So you don't think this could have been handled, this actually could have been handled better in any way? No mistakes?
No, I don't think it could have been handled in a way that we're going to go back in hindsight and look, but the idea that somehow
like Porky Pig, beep 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 beep.
Chaos ensuing, I don't know how that happens. I don't know how that happened.
Wow. Let's see. When asked about what he thought about the images, Biden replied by reacting he wanting the military in control of the situation, avoiding any sense of emotion about scenes that shocked the world. What I thought was, we have to gain control of this, he said. We have to move more quickly. We have to move more in a way that we can take control of that airport. And we did. Oh yeah, Joe, you did. When Stephanopolis asked if he could have handled the withdrawal better, Biden denied it. No, I don't think it could have been handled in that way. We're going to go back in hindsight and look. But the idea is that somehow there's a way we have gotten it without chaos ensuing. I don't know how that happens. The president also appeared defiant against his critics in the interview, calling his decision to withdraw Afghanistan a, quote, simple choice rather than a task that he and his team could have planned better and executed better. When you look at what happened over the last week, what was it? A failure of intelligence, planning, execution, judgment, Stephanopolis said. Look, it was a simple choice, George. Arguing that he could have either stayed true to the withdrawal date of August 31st or extended it further with more troops. But wow. It just gets worse. It just gets worse for Dementia Boy. I mean, when pushed, when pressed, I give Stephanopolis credit. What could have been better? What could have been done better? Judgment, execution, planning. What could have been done better? And then, of course, Biden did his best Porky Pig impersonation, should I say. Yeah, dude, he fell flat on his face. He took a header. But no surprise. No surprise there. And I guarantee you that from Circleback Girl to his White House Chief of Staff to those in his inner circle were scared to death of him doing this interview because you knew what was going to happen. He was going to go, well, you know, George, squirrel. And that's exactly what he did. He got pressed and he tripped over his lines. He fumbled on the 1 yard line and coughed up the ball. See, that's exactly what you expect. But then again, he's been doing that since he decided to run for president. It's no longer gaffes. We're beyond gaffes at this point. It's about incompetence, flat out incompetence, ignorance, stupidity. There's a mental condition. That's worst case scenario. And with that being said, I'm Jazz Berganzo. This is What's Next. Want to see more just like this? Please leave a comment below. Like it, share it, subscribe to it. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss a thing. And we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.